This is Glenn Rice with Clearview Sewer Cams. We are located at 6646 West 85th Street. West 85th Place, Los Angeles, California 90045. We're performing a video waste and sewer inspection through a 3-inch ABS cleanout located underneath the house on the left-hand side of the house, just next to the water heater. And this is the walkway towards the front of the house. This is our water heater here, and this goes out towards the rear of the property. And this is the crawl space that we're running through, and here's our 3-inch ABS cleanout. And went ahead and zeroed out our camera monitor here. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and push out. We'll get through our waste and see if we can push all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. Do have a lot of flies there. We're running a little bit of water to help us push out. And what we'll do is we'll use the water to help us push out and get out towards the front of the property, possibly all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. And then from there we'll shut the water down and pull back and take a good look at our line. Okay, we're just going to continue to push out. And again, as I mentioned, we're going to push out using the water to help us push all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. And then from there, we'll shut the water down, we'll pull back, and we'll take a good look at our line. Okay, we went ahead and located this area. We are out in the middle of the street, parallel with their city sewer tie-in. This area here is at 7 foot 6 inches deep. And as you can see in these joints here, we do have some root intrusion. So what we're doing is we're shutting the water down, and we're going to take a good look at the line once the water subsides. It does appear to be broken, this area. And as you can see, it does appear that we're completely broke here at the saddle area. And as you can see, the vitreous clay saddle area there appears to be cracked and broke in that area with the large root intrusions coming through those joints. And able to push past this. As we pull back, we can take a little bit of a look at it there. Very difficult to tell, but you can see a large root mass and the break in the vitreous clay there. I'm going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and let the water run down. And again, as I mentioned, this area here does appear to have a very large break in the saddle area here. As we push in, you can see that the concrete pipe right at the saddle area is completely broken. And we're facing up against the vitreous clay portion of the saddle. And as we pull back, you can see that there's a very large break in the line there. So as we pull back a little bit more, you can see that the concrete in that joint is completely broken. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And this does appear to be concrete sewer piping. This is the concrete lateral. We have a little bit more water running here. A little bit of a gap in that joint there. we went ahead and let a little bit of the water run down. We still had a toilet that was running, so we had to get in there and shut that down to get the water to slow down so we can pull back slowly. We'll take a good look at these concrete joints. That one appears to be in fair condition. We have a root intrusion in this joint here. So as you can see, we do have a root intrusion from about the 3 o'clock area all the way around to about the 9 o'clock area. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to pull back slowly. It does appear that we do have a break in this joint here at the 3 o'clock area. As you can see, there's a large dark circle there, and that's a piece of the concrete pipe that came out of that area there and left you with a nice hole. Go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, as I mentioned, we do have a break in that joint there, right around the 3 o'clock area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. The joint appears to be in fair condition. In fair condition.
Holding back a little water.
Yeah, we're holding back a little bit of water in this joint here. A little bit of an offset from about the 5 o'clock area up to about the 9 o'clock area. Very difficult to tell in these joints. With the concrete joints, you want to go over really careful to take a really good look at the joints. They do tend to crack and break in the joint area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back slowly. A little bit of root intrusion in that joint right about the 3 o'clock area. A little bit of an offset in that joint. No, that joint appeared to be in fair condition. A minor offset, but nothing major. That joint appears to be in fair condition. We do appear to have some more root intrusion in this joint here. Let's pull it back slowly just to see if I can get a full view of the diameter of the pipe. And we have some more large root intrusion in this joint here. And this is a transitioning from the concrete lateral into our vitreous clay sewer line. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and it is at 5 foot 7 inches deep on the right hand side, just underneath the brick ribbon, and we did mark it with a red crayon. And again, as you can see, we do have a large root intrusion in this joint. This is our transition from our vitreous clay to our concrete lateral here. You can see, and we do have a fairly large root intrusion in that joint. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back and take a good look at the vitreous clay. And this does appear to be our 4 to 6 transition here. We pull back and just double check, make sure we don't have a large offset in that joint. And it does appear to be our 4 to 6 transition. A little bit of water holding there at the bottom. And it does appear they were very difficult to tell. Now we're still. So in this joint here, we do have a fairly large offset from about the 11 o'clock area all the way around to about the 5 o'clock area. And we're still in vitreous clay. It does appear that they possibly cleaned their paint brushes or something in the pipe here, and a lot of white paint. We do have an offset. We do have a fairly large crack on the vitreous clay. As you can see here on the right hand side. Very difficult to tell here in this joint. We do have what appears to be a crack, but as we pull back, it does appear to be root intrusion, because there could possibly be a crack in this joint here, right around the 3 o'clock. And we do have an offset from about the 11 o'clock area all the way around to about the 5 o'clock area. So we're just going to pull back slowly. We have a root intrusion in this area here. In this area here, we do have a crack. As you can see, the crack goes all the way around from about the 3 o'clock area all the way around to about the 9 o'clock area. And at the top of the crack, we do have a root intrusion that's coming in from that crack. See it?
I see it.
Yeah, that joint was too close. Yeah, it's a good crack right there. Do we want to mark any of that? No?
You want to mark it?
I want to mark somewhere closer to the front of the house.
Yeah, but I'm going to mark the transition from vitreous clay to ABS or whatever it is.
Okay.
Right?
No, we'll just mark, like you said, we'll mark the transition, because everything in between is already messed up anyways.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can mark like you said, every single joint. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, we do have a root intrusion in this joint, and we do have a fairly large offset in this joint here from about the 9 o'clock area all the way around to around the 3 o'clock area. You can see the full face of the pipe there at the top. And as you can see, we're dropping down. And we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, we do have another large offset in this joint here from about the 9 o'clock all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. Back. And again, another fairly large offset in this joint from about the 9 o'clock to about the 3 o'clock area. Again, you can see the full face of that pipe. I'm just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. Again, we do have another offset in this joint as well, from about the 9 o'clock all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. Just going to pull back. And another offset in this joint, from about the 9 o'clock to about the 3 o'clock area. Again, another offset in this joint as well. We do have another crack in this line here. As you can see, it's actually broken. It's completely broken the full diameter of the pipe. As you can see, from about the 4 o'clock area all the way up and around to about the 1 o'clock area. You can see a complete crack there. And there's some roots coming in that crack. You can see we do have an offset in the joint from about the 9 o'clock all the way around to about the 2 o'clock area. I'm just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. Again, another fairly large offset in this joint here from about the 5 o'clock all the way up and around to about the 12 o'clock area. And we do have a root intrusion in that joint as well. And that joint appeared as an offset from about the 9 o'clock up to about the 1 o'clock area. As you can see in this joint here, we do have a crack in this joint here, and you can see the crack there. As I pull back, you can see the crack right about the 3 o'clock, and I'm pulling back and it runs down until around about the 6 o'clock. Then we drop into this joint here, and as you can see, we drop down and we're up against the face of that pipe there, and that's an offset, large offset in that joint. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to flush a little bit of water to help us clear our camera lens and take a good look. It does appear that we do have a root intrusion there at the top of the pipe there. It does appear to be a perfect circle. This nice diameter pipe hole there where the root intrusion's coming in. So we're just going to pause here for a moment, run a little bit of water, get our camera lens nice and clean, and we'll pull back and try to identify our little transition from our waste line to our sewer line. There's a nice Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue to pull back. As I mentioned there, as you can see at the top of the pipe right around the 12 o'clock area, we do have a hole with the root intrusion coming in the pipe there. So we're just going to pull back slowly. It's clear that we're still vitreous clay, and we're transitioning here to our what appears to be cast iron waistline. And at the Okay, we're going to pause here for a moment and locate this area. Right front corner of the house. Okay, we went ahead and located this area. It is on the right hand corner of the house at 1 foot 8 inches deep, and we did mark it with the red crayon. This area here is
1 foot 8 inches deep on the right front corner.
1 foot 8 inches deep on the right hand front corner of the house. And this is, as you can see here, it does appear that we do have possibly a test tee or possibly a clean out in the vitreous clay here. And as we pull back, we transition into our cast iron waistline. As you can see, we do have an offset in that transition there from about the 11 o'clock to about the 5 o'clock area. And we're just going to pull back and take a good look at our cast iron waistline. Pull back. Make a little bit of a turn. We do have a little bit of buildup in this area here. A bit of scaling and a little buildup in the bottom there. And it does appear we're transitioning back into black ABS waistline. And as you can see here in this transition, we are holding back a little bit of water in this transition as I pull back. We're just going to pull back and see. It did appear that we transitioned. So it was just a short section of black ABS pipe here, this area here. As you can see, as we pull back, we did transition back into what appears to be cast iron. And as I mentioned, we are holding water in that area. We'll just continue to pull back. Take a little bit of a turn. Now, we do have a flat section of cast iron waistline with approximately 4 feet long, and we're transitioning back here, transitioning back into black ABS waistline, and we're going to continue to pull back. And all the joints of the black ABS waistline here all appear to be in fair condition. And we're pulling up and out of our clean out, and that will conclude our video waste and sewer line inspection.